returning home to see what is left behind or what is not left. There's also near complete devastation in parts of the U.S. Virgin Islands, where some people have told us they feel ignored, that their stories are not getting out. So we're going to try to rectify that tonight. Though the islands were hit hard, they're just about 40 miles east of Puerto Rico. The three largest islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas, as well as smaller surrounding islands. Many of them affected. We'll take you there as well tonight. Here in Florida, millions of people are still without power. Florida Power and Light says people on the eastern side of the state may get power back by the end of the weekend. Here on the western side, however, they are shooting for September 22nd. That's next Friday. We'll have more on that situation in a moment, but first we want to start in the Keys. Lisa Cronus is a nurse who rode out the storm in Key West. I spoke with her by phone just a few moments ago. Lisa, what's the situation in Key West right now? What are you seeing around you?
Right now, they're clearing the roads of the trees and debris in Key West, but there's no power, and the cell phones are not working. I think people can look with the Google NOAA app at actual houses. Some houses have roof damage in Key West. We had high winds, but not destructive. Big Pine, on the other hand, and Cudjoe and Sugarloaf, I'm hearing, are destroyed. FEMA is not producing the food that they're supposed to, or the amount of food. They brought some MREs, not enough for 400 people that lined up for an hour to get them. So hopefully that situation gets fixed. We had cell phone service for 5 minutes today. I have AT&T, and I found a landline. That's how we're communicating at Aqua Nightclub with Aaron Huntsman.
You decided to stay behind. What was your thinking on staying behind?
So we stayed here for
Wilma,
which was terrible. It flooded our home. Had we not been here for Wilma and couldn't have gotten in our home immediately to fix it, it would have been a disaster. There was sewage water, there was salt water. People couldn't get back into town for a week and a half. I'm also an RN, so I do have the ability to help people. I'm a volunteer for Love is Love Foundation, but I'm also an RN, period. You know, I mean, I certainly can help. So I have that, but mainly, you know, I wanted to make sure my kids were out of town and that we could get back, assess the damage, and fix any problems. And I think Aaron was doing the same thing. Once you're out, you're out. It's going to take a long time for people to get back here. We've got looters that are around. We had somebody knocking on our door last night, as a matter of fact. So, you know, it's a situation where I'd rather be here than away wondering what happened to the house. We have a curfew right now from sundown to sunset, sunup.
You were riding out the storm in a hotel. What was it like during the height of the storm?
Well, the hotel, we were safe. We were in a safe spot. The hotel lost power, and their sewage line was backing up, so the hotel was not any good, but it was a safe spot. You asked why we didn't run, too. Until the very end, we looked like we were going to be fine. Like Key West looked like the only spot in Florida that was going to be fine. So where do you run to? My son went to Alabama. We stayed back to assess the home damage. Anderson, I'm going to have to go because they're trying to curfew us right now.
All right.
I'm getting in trouble.
All right, you got to go. Lisa, I appreciate it. You stay safe. Joining me now on the phone is Key West City Manager Jim Scholl. Jim, it's good to talk to you again. Right now we have 2 deaths confirmed in the Keys. Is that still accurate? And how are authorities now in Key West trying to account for everyone?
Well, Anderson, good evening. There are 2 deaths. One was in Key West. It wasn't immediately storm-related, we don't believe, but the accountability really, Key West did not take a very major brunt of the storm. You know, we don't have that much structural damage in Key West. It is worse up the Keys, but our biggest challenge thus far has been moving debris out of the roadways so that the roads are passable. But I don't know of any issues with people being trapped. We're not doing search and rescue in Key West. I know there's still some resources doing that up the Keys from us where conditions were worse. But Key West is in the process of recovery. We've got 80% of the roads passable now. You know, they're moving the debris off to the sides of the road. We're going to start the cleanup process here very soon, where we go out and pick up all the debris and get the town cleaned up. The biggest challenge we have right now is just the lack of power, the lack of water, and fortunately this evening we've got our wastewater treatment plant up and functioning, which is a big public health issue, as you know, but that will help assist once the water gets turned on to be able to work our way back to normal operations for the city of Key West.
Well, a lot of that is very good news. You know, the Department of Defense has said that as many as 10,000 people who rode out the storm in the Keys may need to be evacuated due to water outages. Monroe County has said, called the DOD claim, quote, not true. I'm wondering, do you have any clarity on what's happening? Do you think there will be a need to have large numbers of people evacuate from the Keys?
Anderson, I don't think so at all, and we were not aware of that information myself down here in Key West and the Monroe County Emergency Management folks. You know, everybody who evacuated and heeded the order, that was good, and those that are here were working to obviously provide services and not overextend the resources that we had and now that we're receiving. But at this point, certainly in Key West, there's no need for an evacuation. And I can tell you that the Florida Keys Aqua